This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 7 through 9. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 7 through 9. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bracha, Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and I have a couple of articles I wanted to go into real quick. Again, going into, all right, sounding the alarm, all right, ringing the alarm bells. All right, and the Lord has blessed us with the ability to see things that are to come by in the future. Okay, and of course, we find all that out in biblical prophecy. Okay, understanding biblical prophecy, but also being able to tie it in to current events, right? Because these prophecies, as they're happening, we need to be able to decipher, all right, and let the people know, all right, that the prophecies are being fulfilled as we're prophesying about them. Okay, as we're speaking these things, they're happening, because these things are not, it's nothing new. Okay, it's not the first time you've heard, brothers talk about martial law and chaos that's coming, and how these devils going to be, using technology, all right, and falsehoods and deception to corner the world into a draconian state. All right, that's exactly what you're seeing happening. Okay, and they're using, it seems like they're using the same tricks, all right, that they had used for the past 4 years ago. The same exact thing is happening again. All right. Now it says here, Republican lawmakers sent an urgent plea to President Joe Biden on Friday as a concerning rise in pneumonia cases continues across China. Okay, so the same exact thing that happened pretty much in 2019 into 2020. Okay, with the CV, seems like the same thing is happening here again. All right, but this time they're saying it's pneumonia. Okay, this thing called white lung worm or something, like white lungs or something like that. All right, that's attacking little children. All right, here in the States. So seems like a lot of things are happening, and it's lining up perfectly for 2024, where the Hudat, all right, is going to be having that unanimous autonomous power over 194 nations. Okay, so that's also something to think about. All right, this coming, I believe, next 4 months. Or I believe in 4 or 5 months. Okay, in May. Okay, so the countdown has begun. All right, we're just gonna pay attention and keep watching. All right, but here this article says Republican lawmakers sent an urgent plea to President Joe Biden on Friday as a concerted rise in pneumonia cases continues across China. It says many parts of China have been hit by a surge in the illness, which has particularly, and again, China is being used again, right? It says which has particularly affected children. Northern provinces in China experienced a jump in cases for 5 consecutives since mid-October. Okay, just like it 1 second. Okay. All right, so continue. It says consecutive since mid-October. It says the news triggered global concern. There you go. Global concern. Now it's funny because this so-called global concern seems very manufactured. Because when you look outside, for the time being, of course, because the media hasn't really kicked things into gear, but when you look outside, it seems like people are moving about regularly. You got people who are coughing and sneezing and doing whatnot. Um, I'm kind of under the weather right now, but I'm witnessing it. I'm seeing people and nobody's bugging out about it. Nobody's really, wearing masks and, hiding, and being locked down and all that. So they're going to have to bring back those measures. Okay. And they have plans for that. But this time it's not going to be like the introductory version of it, where your CDC tells you, you got to quarantine for 14 days or 12 days or whatever, This time they're going to isolate you. And we're going to go into that because apparently it looks like New York State has pretty much, they haven't determined that that's what they're going to do, right? Which we've been saying that was going to happen even during the time of Cuomo, okay? He was coming out saying quite some foolish things, talking about, we're gonna knock on your doors, we're gonna come into your houses, we're gonna grab you up, we're gonna put you in a car, we're gonna drive you to a different location, and we're gonna get those things in your arms. He said that. I was like, this guy here, so I guess he was prophesying for 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line. Okay, so let's continue. It says. So this news triggered global concern following China's lack of transparency regarding the origins of CV-19. It says the spread of which prompted strict public health restrictions and quarantine measures. Several states in the U.S. reported an uptick in child pneumonia cases this week, further raising alarm about the illness, although health officials alleged there is zero evidence that the increase is connected to China. It's the same shit they were saying before. All right, now this time it says Senator Marco Rubio, a Republican from Florida, has since urged Biden to ban U.S. travel and it says travel to and from China to stop the spread of any contagions. The World Health Organization, the WHO, there we go, has requested more information from China about the illness. Now you see how they start playing the games? Typically, right, or normally, how things are really supposed to work is the people, the citizens are the ones who make the call. The government doesn't have the right to come in and tell you what to do to protect yourself, right? To protect themselves. No, the government doesn't have the right to do that. The so-called government, that is. The people give them the right to do that. All right? Under a name or state of emergency, they have something known as emergency powers. That's when basically executive order after executive order is in effect. And at that point, your so-called constitutional rights and all that shit that they tell you is null and void. Okay? It doesn't matter anymore. All right? So continue, it says the WHO has requested more information from China about the illness, but Rubio advised that Biden shouldn't wait any longer before implementing the travel restrictions. Listen to this. He said, quote, "We must take the necessary steps to protect the health of Americans." Like what? Americans are just little babies just sitting around and the government is the parents that need to come in and protect them. This is the game they play. Okay? He said, "We must take the necessary steps to protect the health of Americans and our economy." But they're doing they're doing the complete opposite. But yet they turn around and say, we must do this in order to save the planet. See, Esau is the devil that literally destroys the world around you, right? He distracts you enough so you don't see it. And then after it's done, he grabs your attention to it and says, look around you. Look at all the things that's going on around us in today's society. Look at the crime rates going up. The economy is bad. Healthcare is terrible. You guys are locked down. Diseases spreading everywhere. Wars brewing everywhere, right? Look at all these things. Life has become so much harder to live. AI is taking over everything. So now we need to come in and save the day. Listen, if you don't allow us to save the day, then the hell's just going to keep on continuing. You see, that's Esau right now. That's the devil for you. Okay? And the fact that we're pinpointing all this stuff, it pisses them off. All right? But fuck it. Listen, your existence pisses us off. So this is just the beginning. Okay? So continuing, it says, quote, it says that means we should immediately restrict travel between the United States and the People's Republic of China until we know more about the dangers posed by this new illness. It's never been like this. All right, this is 2020. All of a sudden, once a country, has some type of sickness or illness, all of a sudden, oh, we have to shut down our borders. Oh my goodness. Oh, we need to go into one country has done it. That means the whole world has to do it. It's like, okay, calm down. But that's their goal. All right, that's their plan. Okay, it says a ban on travel now could save our country from death, lockdowns, mandates, and further outbreaks later. You hear that? So in other words, he's telling you, I'm putting it out there. If we don't put the travel restrictions now, these are the things that's gonna come to pass. You're gonna go through death. You're gonna go through lockdowns. You're gonna go through mandates and other further outbreaks later. So those are the steps. If they don't do a restriction now, specifically for China or people from China coming over here, then these are the things that's about to happen. But if we listen, then these things may not happen. We're not saying it's not going to happen. It just may not happen. Their plans they always bring out is always stupid. All right, if you pay close attention, you'll find out that most of the plans that these devils talk about is all stupid. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's retarded. It doesn't work. All right, but if you speak against it, you're the one spewing misinformation. All right. Because it makes perfect sense that New York reinstates compulsory quarantine, right? For no reason. Because something is going on in China, all of a sudden they're reinstating compulsory quarantine. And it's right on time, right? Right on time for 2024. It says New York State's 4th Judicial Department has reinstated a controversial policy that empowers the state government to lawfully order people to involuntarily isolate or quarantine in order to prevent the spread of highly contagious diseases. Okay. Originally passed in February 2022, the dramatic expansion of the rights and abilities of the state health commissioner, collectively referred to as Rule 2.13, was struck down in July of that same year in the state Supreme Court, following a lawsuit filed by Republican lawmakers, Senator George Borrello, Assemblyman Chris Tague, and U.S. Representative Mike Lawler, who was a member of the Assembly at the time of the filing. Last Friday, the 4th Judicial Department repealed that decision, stating that the Republican challengers who had argued that Rule 2.13 gave undue power to the executive branch and disregarded the authority of the state legislature had not established how their authority had been negated. Well, it's not for now. It's being set in stone for later. Because in the time of emergency, none of these niggas matter anyway. Okay, your house, your representatives, your House of Representatives, your senators, your congressmen, your whoever that they have in there, that all these made up characters and positions just to keep on with the facade. Okay, they're all gonna wither away. They're not gonna be needed. Okay, because here it is. The Pentagon is talking about basically approving the use of fully autonomous AI weapons, man. We prophesied this years ago. Fully autonomous weapons. They're going to be using them to go into your inner cities, Chicago, New York, be more. All right. Florida. All right. Cali, Texas. Okay. Atlanta. All right. Jersey, Philly. Okay. Wherever there's Jake densely populated at, that's where these niggas going to be sending these damn fully autonomous weapons, man. All right. And they're programmed to come after who? Specific people. Okay. Specifically who? Let's get that. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30:7 says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So when these devils come in with their plans to annihilate, all right, the race of the Hebrews, starting with you so-called blacks, all right, Esau, you're gonna have a pushback. Okay, you're gonna have a crazy, never seen before pushback. All right, and that's what they're trying to avoid at all costs, but it's not gonna work. Okay, because what you're doing is going to spark that pushback. All right, it's not something that just happens on its own. It's something that is sparked. Okay, scriptures tell you that so the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Okay. So continuing, it says, The court's Democratic supermajority, in a unanimous vote, ruled that the legislature retains its power to address the regulation, essentially stating that New York legislators still maintain the authority to change the laws which originally empowered the governor's office to pass new and stricter public health policies. Furthermore, the Fourth Judicial Court wrote that the legislature or legislator petitioners failed to fulfill the injury in fact requirement to establish standing, arguing that the state legislators who originally brought the suit did not have the legal standing to do so. Here we go. It says the lower court ruled that Rule 2.13 did not nullify any vote cast by the plaintiffs. Blah 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 blah. Let's read. It says the court seems to insinuate that the only person with the right to sue is someone who has been forcibly locked in their home against their will. Bobby Ann Flower Cox, the attorney representing the petitioners, wrote in a blog post following the lower court's decision. Rule 2.13 was first made possible when during the early days of the CV-19 pandemic, the state legislature amended executive law and gave then Governor Andrew Cuomo broad power to suspend laws and issue directives through executive orders. And they passed all that stuff down to that Hoko. All right. Kathleen Hoko, whatever her name is. All right, it says the new ruling supersedes the conclusion of Supreme Court Justice Ronald Pleats of Cattaraugus County, who stated Rule 2.13 violates the constitutional requirement for a separation of powers between the legislative and executive branches when establishing actions as severe as involuntary isolation. With Rule 2.13 reinstated, the State Commissioner of Health now resumes the authority to quote, whenever appropriate, to control the spread of a highly contagious communicable disease, okay, issue and or direct the local health authority to issue isolation and or quarantine orders consistent with due process of law to all such persons as the State Commissioner of Health shall determine appropriate. You see how slick these devils are? Because in the time of martial law, you don't have a due process of law. It's warlike law at that time. There is no constitutional way of doing things. So they sneak that in there to tell you, as long as it's consistent with due process of law, well, guess what? In the time of martial law, like I said, you can't use those. So that's a loophole right there, built in on purpose. Okay? They're not gonna screw themselves. Why would they do that? If their end goal is to have people quarantined and sent into these FEMA camps, why the hell would they box themselves in? They're not gonna do that. You see? So they've been granted the power to do what? Upon discretion, their own discretion, they can just say, okay, this person has to go into isolation. Oh, we're gonna come pick you up and send you over to a camp, an isolation camp, re-education camp, or whatever camp they're gonna be coming up with. Okay. So here we are, man. All right, there's a lot of things that's going on behind the closed doors, that people are not paying attention to. And when we bring it out, Esau is doing a very good job trying to shut the information down. So you gotta do your best you can to grab as much as you can now. Okay? As much as you can now, man, because times are about to get real crazy real soon. All right, we kept saying it. If you think the last one was crazy, you wait for this one. All right, this one's going to come with a ton of surprises in this happy meal. Okay? Tons of gifts for all these wicked ass people. You get one, you get one, you get one, you get one. You got everybody go get some. All right, because the Lord is finna cook. All right, this year 2024, the Lord is definitely going to do some major savory cooking. All right? And a lot of Jakes they're going to be first in the grill, man. That's just what it is. All right? Shit. Anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you were edified and informed. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. Nawari Yahawah Bashem Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.